Hi guys, some of you have been asking me how to install Whisper. So Whisper is a fantastic tool that allows you to transcribe any kind of audio in lots of languages. It's very, very accurate, fast. You can run it on an old machine. I run it on a 10-year-old MacBook Pro, works without any problem. It's done by the same people who came up with ChatGPT, so OpenAI. They've got a paid version, but they've also got an open source version that you can install on your own computer. Now, the problem with the paid version, even though it's fast and fantastic, is if you have interview data or personal data, you don't really want to upload it to a third party. You don't know what they're going to do with it. You're getting into ethics problems, GDPR, data protection. So this little tutorial is here to run you through how you can set it up on your own machine. Now, I'm running a Windows system, so I'm installing it on a Windows machine here. The steps I'm going to show you are Windows based, but for the Mac, it's pretty much the same thing. You might have to look up the odd thing, how to install FFmpeg when we get to it. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. The very first thing that you need to get in order to install Whisper is Python. So if we head over to the Python website, we have it here, python.org. You'll see a download button right about here. When you click on this, it will download the right version of Python for your operating system. It'll download the latest long-term supported version. So in this case, it's 3.12.5. You just click on this. You'll see it downloaded here. Once you click on it, you open it up, you follow the instructions in the installer. Now, there are two really, really important tick boxes that you need to check. So at the bottom of the installer, you'll have a tick box asking you whether to add Python to the path. It's really, really important that you check this. And also to run Python with admin privileges. Like this, you don't get into troubles when we start installing Whisper and other packages. Once you've installed Python, let's go check that it's running properly on your system. So for this, we open a terminal or a command prompt on Windows. And here we simply type Python -- version. And here you should see, so I've got 3.12.4 installed. You probably just installed 3.12.5. Same thing, makes no difference. So if you see this here, then you know that you've got Python installed. Great. So Python is installed. The next thing that we need to install is something called FFmpeg. On Windows, it's very, very easy. You go winget install FFmpeg. That's it. Press enter. So in my case, since I've already got it installed, the installation will look a little bit different than on yours. So it says it's already found this version, but it's downloading it again. In your case, it will just download it and install it. Now, on Mac, it's slightly different. You can't use this winget, but if we head over to the FFmpeg website, you will see a big download button here. So when you click on this download button, you will see your Mac icon. Click on here, and this is where you can then download and install FFmpeg for the Mac. So just follow the prompts along and make sure that you install FFmpeg. Now, going back to the command prompt, fantastic. So FFmpeg's installed properly. That's all we needed to do. We've installed Python, we've installed FFmpeg, we're ready to install Whisper. So let's head over to the Whisper website. By the way, all of these links for Python, FFmpeg, and Whisper, they're going to be in the description of the video. Once we get to the GitHub for Whisper, you see here all the files. Right, here's a little description of the model about Whisper. This is how the whole thing works. It was trained on 680,000 hours of audio, of background noises, of all kinds of sounds in order to be able to classify the text that you give it. There's a bit more description, but the thing that we're really after is this command here. So it's this pip install -u OpenAI Whisper. An easy way to get this, if you go to the right hand side, you see these two squares, you press on them, it's copied the command to the clipboard. And with the command copied, we can head back to the command prompt. And all you do here is paste the command that you've just copied and press enter. Now what can happen, you might get a red error warning at the bottom, something about NumPy not being available or some packages not working. What you can do in that case is you can write pip uninstall Whisper. It will take a moment, and then you just run it again. So I got this warning because I'm working in a different system. And once you run it again, it should now work smoothly. And that's it. You've now installed Whisper on your machine. We can double check this. We can type Whisper, and it gives you the command out prompt. So this is the way that you use Whisper. Here are some of the flags that you can set. These are all the different languages that it works in. You can also obviously look at the documentation online. It gave me an error because I haven't specified an audio. Right, now that we've got Whisper installed, what better way than just to test run it? In order to do so, you write Whisper and you do this in your command prompt or your terminal on Mac, Whisper. Then you define the model that you want. So you go -- model. And I recommend that you start with the tiny model. So this is the smallest model. It's going to run the fastest, and it's going to give you very decent results. If you find that the tiny model doesn't give you the results that you want, you can always go up to the small. There's a medium one as well. If I could type medium, and if you have a really, really powerful GPU, you can also run the large model. It takes a lot more time, but it's just as good. So we're going to start with the tiny model. Then you set the output format that you want, and we want it as text. You can have the output format in SRT, so in subtitled. There's a lot of different formats that you can have it in. Look in the documentation for this. We can set the language. If you don't set the language, it will take the first 30 seconds to auto-detect it, so it's entirely up to you. And now we give the name of the file. So this is test.mp4. This is part of a Python course that I've recorded. By the way, now that you've got Python installed, you should go and check out my Python course, learn some digital skills, learn something new, make yourself more employable. But for the purpose of this video, so we've got Whisper, model tiny, the output format is text, the language is English, and the file is test.mp4. So let's run this. There we go. This takes some time. So at the beginning, you'll get some messages. And here we go. So it's transcribing the audio. So this is quite a long video. It's about 25 minutes long. But you can see we're already at minute 2, and it's doing a fantastic job. Obviously, this includes takes and retakes, so you'll see some stuttering. You can see it's doing a fantastic job transcribing the audio. There we go. So that's it. So Whisper has now beautifully transcribed this video that I have. When I was reading it, there were the odd mistakes here or there, but it's very quick to go through the transcript and fix these yourself, or get a bigger model, use one of the bigger models to do a better job. So let's look what we have. If we go type, and this was test.text because the file was called test.mp4 and we didn't give it an output title. So we go type, there we go. So we can scroll up and down. It's this entire 25-minute video transcribed in a couple of minutes. There you go. It's as simple as that. You've now got Whisper installed on your own machine. You can get going with transcribing your own interviews, your own texts. The world is your oyster. Now, if you like this video, give it a quick thumbs up. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And by all means, check out the Python course. Have a good one.